that even mean, Bowers Game Corner?
Ahoy there, YouTube! I'm back again today for another episode of Skip the Rules, and today we're skipping the rules for Monopoly Dice. This is for 2 to 4 players, ages 8+, and I've got everything set up. So the first thing you're going to need to grab is a pencil or a pen to keep track of the score. Each player is going to have their own sheet, which will have their name, and then the target score. And in order to win the game, you're going to try and get to 15,000 points. If you want to play a longer game, go to 25,000. You want to play a shorter game, go to 10,000. Give the youngest player all of the dice except for the hotel and house die, which will set off to the side with the houses. Set this cool little board in the middle, and now you are ready to rock and roll. Let's play. The youngest player is going to roll the dice, and the first thing they are going to do are look for 2 different symbols. Those symbols will be this green pointer arrow right here and the police officer. If you ever see a police officer, you immediately have to put the police officer into one of these 3 spots right here. If those 3 spots ever get filled with police officers, your turn is immediately over. Any points that you've scored on the turn, you will not score. You will score nothing at all. All the dice will go to the next player, which will go clockwise. But we're going to stop before that, right? Because this is a press your luck style game. So look for this symbol and then look for the green symbol. If you have the green arrow, what you're going to do is you're just going to put a little check mark next to the box that you're marking. That means you're going to get 200 bonus points if you stop before you get the 3 police officers. Now what you're going to do is look at the rest of your die. If you have any blank die, you can set it over here. You will not need that. And you're going to want to group them together based on their colors or based on their symbols. So right now that is a really spectacular roll because I have gotten both Electric Avenue and Waterworks. And I have actually completed an entire set, which means I won't score 100, 200 points. I will score the full 800. And that is the name of the game here. You're trying to complete sets. So if I have 2 dark blues, I will get 3,500 points. If I have 3 light blues, I will get 1,000 points. However, if I only had 1, I would only score potentially 100 points. We'll explain that in a second. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to actually play this turn how I would play it realistically, which is, you know what? I think I'm going to go for the green. It's a whole bunch of points. We'll go for the green. So now what we can do is we can either stop or we can keep going. If we stop, that means we're not going to roll any more dice. Our turn will be over, but we will score points. And for this instance, we would score the 800 points because we completed the set. And you always get to score 1 incomplete set. So what that means is, for right now, I would score 400 points. If I had 2 greens right here, I would score 800 points. See what I'm saying? So let's pretend that this is what happened, and I'm just going to keep rolling. I'm going to press my luck. And wow, I got 3 trains. That kind of makes me change my mind and say, oh, I want to take this green die off. However, you cannot do that. Once you place a die down, it is locked in place forever. So before I decide that I want to put these 3 trains up there, I want to look at this die to see if there's even a train on it. And I might notice that, oh no, there's not a train on it, which means I'm not going to be able to complete all the trains. But there is this question mark symbol here, and this is a wild symbol. This could be a train, it could be any color, but once you place it, it is placed. Also, if you happen to score it, it doesn't get you 400 points. So let's say that I ended up scoring this right here. I'm not scoring 800 points for green, I'm only scoring 400 points, whereas now I'm scoring 800 points for green. So you know what? I say to myself, I'm feeling lucky. I'm going to place those 3 trains right there because 2,500 points, that's a big chunk of points. I only have 1 police officer. I roll these up again. I would mark and tally right here once again that I got another go. And I would just keep rolling because as long as I don't get police officers, I'm good. But I did get another police officer. And now, you know what? I might realistically stop. So I'm going to score my 800 points for completing this set right here. And then I can either score my trains for 600 points or my green for 800 points. So I'd probably score this for 800 points. So 800 plus 800 equals 1,600 points. Plus I got my 2 arrows, which meant I passed go. So I get 200 for both of those, which means grand total, I scored 2,000 points on that turn. I would take all of the dice, except for the house and hotel die, and I would pass it to the next player. Now for the next turn, let's show you how the house die is going to work. So we're going to cheat a little bit. And this is our roll. So first thing we might want to note is that, oh, we got to go past go. So we'll just mark right here that we will be getting 200 points as long as we stop before we get 3 police officers. And then we'll notice that, ooh, we have a group of 2 brown, which means we have now completed a colored property. So what this means is as soon as you complete a colored property, you take this die and you put it over here. You will be able to roll it next time if you continue to push your luck. which in this scenario, since we have no police officers, we would totally do. And you know what? We'll put these 250s up here as well. And now we're going to re-roll all the die. We're not going to stop. And wowie maui, this is a great start. First thing we do is we put the police officer right there. We always do that. We put the arrow right here and we tally that, we're going to get 200 bonus points, once again, as long as we stop. But you'll also notice that we've got the house, which means we physically take one of these houses and put it in front of us. If we decide to end our turn right now, this house is going to be worth 1,000 points. But if we continue to roll, we can gain more houses. So now these two houses would be worth 2,000 points, 3,000 points, 4,000 points. And if you can roll this die when you have 4 green houses and then get a red, you immediately score 5,000 points. Assuming, of course, that you stop and don't fill in your police officer area. Because in this amazing scenario, let's pretend that we were just absolutely wild and we'd scored 5,000 points. We got our 4 houses here. We got this property. We're just on a gravy train with biscuit wheels. And we say, you know what? We're going to keep rolling because there's no way we're going to get busted. And this happens. Well, guess what? You lose all your points, every single one of them, including these 2 right here. Erase that. Get away. Put the houses in the house die back in the center and then pass the dice to the next player. Few more side rules to let you know about. First and foremost, if you ever get this symbol right here, you actually lose one of your houses. Also, if you ever get a hotel before you have 4 houses, this die doesn't do anything for this round. And if you roll this glorious symbol right here, this is actually a get out of jail symbol. You actually remove one of your police officer die that you would have right here. And if you don't have any police officer dice, nothing happens. Last but not least, if you ever decide to stop rolling before you have a completed set, that's perfectly fine. You just score, once again, your highest incomplete group. So right now, you would score 400 points plus any bonus points that you got from the green arrow, and then you would pass all the dice to the next player. But you're going to race to be the first person to get 15,000 points. If you're able to do that, then you are the winner of Monopoly Diced, and that's how the game is played. If this video helps you out, please consider giving it a thumbs up. That really helps me out an awful lot. And let me know in the comments below where in the world I helped you out at. And as always, thanks for your time, YouTube.